Hey, what's up, ladies and gents? This is Game Player Rich, and welcome to Retro Revisits Part 2. And I am joined, as always, by my lovely co-host, Catharsis.
Hello, everybody. Hope everyone's well. I'm here again.
Welcome back. Well, I think we can. I think we can say that Part 1 wasn't a complete failure because people actually listened to it, and a few actually liked it.
It's really nice though that we're trying out the podcasting because honestly, I've been wanting to try it out. I just never knew where to start.
Yeah.
Like I was planning way back to have this huge group do a podcast thing. Like it was with Zero and Metal Blade 427 and a few other people. I remember like at least 10 people liked that tweet when I made it. I was like, "Oh, no, wait. Hold on. it's too big. I don't know where to start."
Yeah,
So it never happened, but yeah.
A 10-person podcast, that would be a bit...
It was
That
big.
would
Like
be ambitious.
a lot of people wanted
That's not so
in.
much a podcast as a convention panel.
It's like a Royal Rumble all over again. Yeah, that's true. It's like a convention panel, actually. Yeah. Sounds like a good time.
Let's wait until we're internet superstars before we start planning one of those.
Oh my gosh. It was honestly just an idea at the time because I can't like collab with people, because of, number one, time zones. It sucks.
It does.
Number two, I don't have the same games people are into because I don't know, I'm just not splurging on Steam games at the moment.
That's terrible.
Because at the time that I had the chance to splurge on Steam games, like the games that people are playing now, it wasn't big back then. Like Rocket League wasn't big at the time.
Yeah.
Games like that. So I was just like, okay, I'm gonna spend on what I have, at least at the time, for me.
Yeah.
And just enjoy those games. And now that people are playing, I'm like, oh my god, seriously?
Yeah. I'm
sucks, but
considering Rocket League right now because it's 40% off.
Looks like a really good game to play with friends, honestly.
Yeah, true.
Really good game.
Yeah, it's been on my wish list for ages, but I've just never... I've always found more important games to get. Like, today for me was Payday. And so the first thing that I've done is complete my Steam collection of Final Fantasy games.
Yes, of course.
So I already had 7 and 8, and I got 9 as soon as that came out, but I now have 3, 4.
That's great.
4 the after years,
Mm-hmm.
5, 6. I also bought all 3 of the 13 games.
Yeah.
So I've pretty much got the lot now.
I probably would be getting 4, 5, 6, but I actually, Zero was asking me last night, like, sis, are you planning to get FF9? I'm like, oh no, I'm not. I can't because I can't afford it at the moment, so I'm gonna emulate it. And it was like, but why? I assumed you were gonna be all over that game. I'm like, practicality for one. And we had a bit of a discussion. But on the topic of Final Fantasy, actually, I'm not gonna be getting 5 and 6 because on the PS1 they actually released 5 and 6 as an anthology. Like it was
Yes, I think I used to have that.
Yeah, it was 2 games in one, so I'm not going to be getting 5 and 6 on Steam. So I'm just going to be dealing with 5 and 6 on the anthology, which is good because I don't know, it's like I like the whole retro feel. Like when I was actually watching Tia's stream of FF9, I was so surprised with what they did with FF9. Like it was a complete overhaul of the menu, for example, which I wish they didn't do. because I like how the menu was designed on the PS1, like the old timey, font and stuff like that. So it's like, they probably shouldn't have changed it.
I see what you mean. I do see what you mean, because I noticed that seems to have been a theme with when you get the opportunity to name the characters when you come across them for the first time, and they've come up with this whole new sort of like naming screen.
Yes.
I know they've done it for 9. I don't think they've done it for 7 and 8. But I was playing.
What do you mean, changing names?
Yeah, when you can't, like when you play Final Fantasy VII, and you see Barret for the first time.
Oh, you can. They did it with 7. You can change the name of the character.
Oh yeah, I know that you can, but they redesigned that name change screen for some of their games.
Okay, I see.
So they did it. They did it for 9, and I didn't realise at first. I thought it was just that I hadn't played the game for a while, and that's how it always was.
Yeah.
But then I played a bit of 3, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
And it's exactly the same design for the name screen. So they've obviously messed with that one as well.
Yeah, I guess they just wanted everything to be, I guess, polished. It's like what they did with FF4, I guess, when they brought the game to Steam and other devices. Because old Final Fantasy games, the way that it was designed, like the font was, it's an FF game because of the font, and like the gradient, like the gradient text box. So it's an FF game.
Yes.
So I guess I don't know why they decided to change that. It's like it's been like a trademark, I guess.
Yeah, it's their own personal sort of signature on the series, and I completely get that. It's
yeah.
The one thing I'm not happy with is, and I knew that it said it in the Steam reviews, but they were saying that Final Fantasy 13 was very poorly optimized when they ported it across to the PC. I didn't realize how poorly optimized it was until I saw that you needed 50 gigabytes of hard drive space to install it.
50?
50.
I have like 30, 39, 40. Are you talking about all the games or just one game?
Just Final Fantasy 13.
Mine is 39. Why is it 50 over there? Oh no, I know why.
Why?
I think it's with the language pack. Because over here, we don't have English voices for our copy of FF13. It's not available in Asia. Yeah. So we get the English subs, but we don't get the English dub. Which actually really infuriated me for a while.
All right, okay.
And people in the UK and in the West, they got all the languages.
Not as far as the audio is concerned. I mean, it says it's got 6 supported languages, and only 2 of them have got full audio, and that's English and Japanese. There's
that is probably why then. Why it takes up a lot of space.
Yeah, but then you've got 13.2 and Lightning Returns. And I think 13.2 is... Let me double check this.
That's funny, though, because I never had a problem with the PC port of FF13.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I've not had any problems with regards to actually playing it. It seems to play just fine. But it just seems like a huge amount of hard drive space needed. 13.2.
Yeah.
13.2 needs 30 gigabytes, which is more reasonable.
Seriously?
And Lightning Returns is 22.
Let me see. FF13 on my 29 gig. And then 13.2 is like... Oh no, I haven't installed 13.2 yet.
I mean, on the actual the store page for 13, it says 60 gigabytes. But when I did the actual installation, it just had 50.
They probably... Yeah, it was probably an assumption. Because of all the extra stuff. But yeah, the whole languages thing was the one thing I was really disappointed with Square Enix about. And even Dame was so upset. She was like, you can't expect everyone else to learn, Japanese.
Well, of course.
Like, I'm in the Philippines. Do I know Japanese? I mean, there's English subs, but I wish they kept, options open.
Well, of course, yeah.
And it just seemed like such a closed off idea to them, I guess. I don't know.
Oh no, I'm looking at my actual game folder now. 13 is 58 gig.
Wow.
13.2 is 28.
I was actually so funny you mentioned that, because I was actually looking into that, and when I was recording FF13, I was looking for a way to make it display like 1080p, because remember FF13 was released on the PS3, which is 720p.
Yes, that's right.
And I was like, there has to be a way to like upscale the graphics without like doing anything wild. And then I discovered someone actually had made a program called Gedosato. I'll send you the link, and I use it for FF13, and it's great. It runs at 60 FPS. And I mean, 1080p 60 FPS, I'm like, it doesn't look like there's much difference, but seriously, it looks good. It looks so much better.
Yeah.
And runs so much smoother.
Yeah, it says in the description for 13, it's been optimized for PC, which I very much doubt, featuring full screen support. Full screen support should be standard.
I think
that's how games work.
They probably mean like, oh, there's windowed mode too, because I record in windowed mode, so. Yeah.
I know, but it just reminds me though. Do you remember when the when we were first changing over to sort of like DVDs from videotapes?
VCDs first.
And on the back of the DVD box, it would list things like menu selection as a feature, rather than just as a standard thing. This is like that. This featuring full screen support is why are you listing that as a feature of the game? That should be a standard requirement that happens in 99% of the other games.
Maybe some people just want to jump into the whole thing, And so it's not a shocker anymore. Like, oh, this supports full screen. Like, oh, this movie has menu selection.
Oh, it should have.
Just in case you were wondering. Yeah.
The thing is, I'm just picky about these sort of things anyway, so it's one of the.
As long as I can play it, I'm fine.
Yeah, that's true enough. That's the way I should think, but sadly, I'm getting sort of picky in my old age, and it's just that's how it is. But anyway, so we've already. I wouldn't say that we've derailed the topic, but we got derailed before we even got to the first topic of this whole podcast, which is which has got to be quite an achievement for us. We derailed the podcast before it even started. It's great, but
that's good.
But yeah, although sort of jumping off of the mention of being picky and stuff like that, being picky about things and not liking things to be just so, or not seeing things to be just as they should be as a standard. brings me on to the first subject, which is going to be, what has frustrated you in gaming? Or frustrations, embarrassments, what your experience is in gaming, or more specifically, retro gaming? What's really sort of annoyed you about things? You can talk about sort of like, whether it's something that's happened in a specific game, a feature of a specific game that's really annoyed you, or it could just be about games in general.
Oh man, about gaming. Usually my issue is with controls. I don't like overly sensitive controls. To the point that if they decide it's gonna give a sense of realism, I'm like, no, it makes the game look wonky. It kind of breaks the game.
Ruins the immersion.
And yeah, it's like the first time I ever played Shadow of the Colossus, and I admire that game so much. I love it. It's such a masterpiece. But by the time you get so into it, like balls deep into the Colossus, and you just want to kill all of them, and you get so swallowed up by the fact that you're Wander in the game, and then you start controlling him, and you notice the little things eventually, and you're like, no, and you start rage quitting because things don't go your way.
Oh, damn.
And it's usually, it's usually with controls my issue.
Yeah.
In terms of experience, I don't know. Like, it really varies because I'm the type of person that when I play a game, if I get frustrated with it just happens naturally. I don't fuss over it. I don't mull over my failure in that game. I just let it happen, and then I get over it. So it's usually with the technical side that I get really frustrated with them.
Yeah.
And stuff. So yeah. That's practically it, for me at least.
Yeah, I've come across plenty of frustrating moments with gaming as a kid and growing up. I think one of the issues was when I was very young. Before I'd hit the age of 10. I loved playing games on the old Spectrum, but the problem was, if I couldn't get it right the first time, I would get very, very wound up about it, and it would be bad. But because one of those one of the issues that I had with a game, well, a couple of games on the old Sinclair Spectrum, there was a platformer called Jet Set Willy, which is seen as a sort of it's a classic as far as gaming's concerned. The problem was, you'd have something like you'd start the game with like 9 lives or 10 lives or something like that. Yeah, if you got when you lose a life, you start almost instantly in the exact position where you died. Problem is, if the enemy that killed you is still there, then
yes,
you lose another life, and another life, and another life, and another life. And it wasn't a glitch. That was just how the game was. And so getting caught right there, without like sort of half a second of invincibility to sort of get yourself out of the way so that you could carry on the game, and it would be like you get that unlucky moment and it's game over, and I would scream and shout over that. I would lose my temper so badly. Now, for me, it was like the most serious thing in the world. But if you consider for a moment that I would have been sort of like 7 or 8 years old, me throwing a tantrum was just to everybody else would just look cute. Oh, he's upset. How cute is that?
Yeah.
Look at him,
yes.
Look at him flinging his little arms around.
Oh my god.
So for everybody else, it was hilarious. For me, it was like, My life is destroyed.
It was hilarious.
No more. I will never do this ever again. My relationship with games is over. Until next time, when I'll do exactly the same thing again.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, going back to what you were saying about controls, sometimes they could be a bit frustrating. Another game on the Spectrum, which I think there was like an arcade equivalent. It was I think it was called Hyper Sports, but on the Spectrum version was like Daley Thompson's Decathlon and Daley Thompson's Hyper Sports and Olympics and stuff like that. And the way the controls worked, you could either set it up so that when you're sort of like building speed or building power or building momentum in any of the athletic events, you could either choose to use two buttons that you'd hit alternately to build up that meter, or you'd have an old school joystick which you just sort of like shake from side to side to build up power. Thing is, I didn't know my own strength, so many joysticks got snapped.
Oh, Lord.
So I was like, yeah, gang, crack. And then it's done. I'm like,
poor things.
I know. The problem was I would have done the buttons on the keyboard thing, except that I had no sense of rhythm at the time. So I'd be pressing them both at the same time, or I'd forget to press one of the buttons, so I'd only be pressing one button, and it just would not work ever. And
oh my God.
Yeah. It seems like as great as the Spectrum was, that was the source of most of my gaming frustrations. Especially the game, there was an old beat 'em up game, which was like a very early sort of predecessor to the Streets of Rage series, and it was called Target Renegade. And there are 5 levels. You're you go along these different levels and you're beating up different enemies. You've got various moves that you can use. You can jump kick, you can punch people in the face, you can deliver several knees to their nether regions and all that sort of thing. And on some levels you'd get access to weapons like sledgehammer or some sort of ball and chain type thing. And on the last level, you're in what looks like a club or a pub, that kind of thing. And the weapon that you pick up is a snooker cue. Now, when you fight the boss at the end of that last level, if you haven't got that snooker cue with you, it's not going to be a fun time, because if you miss time hitting him at all, he literally picks you up by the arms and shakes you until you're dead.
Oh my God.
And then when you restart with your next life, you don't have that weapon. And
oh Jesus.
Because the big boss at the end of that level, at the end of the game, is like twice the size of you, he has twice the reach. Therefore, he doesn't have to get as close to you to hit you. And it's
oh my God.
Yeah, it's almost as much luck as judgment to take that boss on. Don't get me wrong, I've completed the game several times, but I've probably failed to complete the game more. And
jeez,
it used to hurt a lot. So yeah, that was frustrating, definitely frustrating. But yeah, anything else that's really annoyed you about games in the past?
Jesus, no, yeah. On the topic of like restarting the level, but ending up on the same spot you died. I actually had the experience with the Diablo 1. Okay. It was back on the PS1 when I played it with my brother, and I remember this, and it happened again because I picked up Diablo 1 again, like, I don't know, like 2 years ago or so, when we first moved here to this house. But yeah, the same moment happened. It was surreal because it's that part where I played the rogue, the girl.
Okay.
And I don't know if you remember the I forgot what you call them, but they were like the goats in the game. The very brutal man goats in the Diablo games with the axe and everything.
Are you talking about like minotaurs, that sort of thing?
No. No. Well, kind of.
I mean,
close enough.
I've not played the. I've played Diablo 2 briefly several years ago, but I've never played the first one, so I don't know the content.
It's okay. But yeah, there were like these man goat things that would just bleat and everything, and they have an axe and they walked around super fast, like ready to chop your head off at any given time. And there was a moment in the game where I actually fought the boss, and I was stuck underground, and there was this orb or something, and I died multiple times, and every time the game would ask me to continue, I hit yes. It would bring me back there. and I couldn't get out. I was murdered every time. And I got so angry. Yeah, I just wanted to cry, and it was like, well, no, I don't want to restart the entire game. Just because of this. And I could not get out. And so every time I look at the game, I always end up there. And it would just be comic relief for me. And then I never touched Diablo 1 again. After that moment relived.
Oh yeah, I mean it's like a traumatic event.
It was trauma. Yeah, it was trauma. It was basically trauma. And you know, the Diablo universe is pretty dark already, you know? So when shit like that happens, just
yeah, you want to just get away and never revisit that ever again.
Just run. Don't even look back. Don't play the game again. So
yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, that is bad. That's it.
Anyway,
that's probably that moment for that.
Yeah. I was going to say, let's get away from all of this frustration, this negativity and things like that, and let's talk about our favourite moments.
Moments.
Things that have happened in games for you that you've just been blown away by. Something that you just didn't expect.
Ones I did not expect. Holy crap. Most of them for me are actually the embarrassing ones. Like,
really?
not the rage quit, you know, not the rage quit, frustrating favorite moments, but like the embarrassing but funny moments. Like, like you think it's a fail, but it's not a fail. Not exactly a fail. And for me, that would definitely have to be the time that I played Baldur's Gate on PC with my brothers. And this was during the time that online LAN was not a thing. And I loved it. Yeah, it was a time where we connected, you know, your PCs with the Ethernet ports, and you know,
yes.
Yeah, it was fun. And it was during a time that we were having troubles here at home, and my dad passed away before that, so you know, we were in a bit of a bind. And my second to the eldest brother at the time, Mike, he set up the whole LAN thing. And he was like, okay, I'm gonna teach you kids how to play Baldur's Gate. We're gonna have lots of fun. You guys are gonna enjoy it. Nice. So we did it. But at the time, my PC was not optimized for like gaming at the time. My my brother Mike at the time could afford to upgrade his PC because he was working and everything. And at the time, I was just an elementary student.
Right.
Me and my two other brothers, we had like 32 MB RAM PC.
Incredible.
My older brother had like 64, or my younger brother had 64. My brother, who's like 2 years older, and he had like the 128, I think, or 256 MB RAM.
Oh, that's really going top of the line now.
It's just, I think about it sometimes and it takes me back. But what really takes me back is like what happened that day, because we were playing Baldur's Gate, and my brother Mike is, he's a wizard. I was a cleric. My brother was like 2 years older, I think it was a fighter, and then my younger brother was a ranger. So we go to this town, okay, in the game. Just to make things simple, we go to this town, and I warned my brother, who's like 2 years older than me.
Yeah.
Because I know his attitude. I was like, whatever you do, if someone comes up to you in that town, do not do anything drastic. Just don't. Don't punch, don't cast a spell, don't use your weapon, just don't. And he was like, well, what is it? What is it? I was like, just don't, just trust me. Just trust me, don't do anything. And he asked me like 4 times. And I just had to keep assuring him, like, don't do anything stupid.
Oh, no.
So there is this character in that town. It's an NPC. And he would really just follow your party everywhere you want.
I know you're
everywhere
talking about.
You went. Just, so...
What's his name? Is it Nuba or something like that?
Yeah, it was Nuba.
It's Nuba.
So he was like following us, and then he would say like, so are you gonna throw rocks at me? And he would taunt you.
Yeah, most people would be throwing rocks at me by now.
Yeah. So my brother, who's like 2 years older, was like, oh God, I'm gonna hit this guy so hard. I was like, no, don't hit him. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Don't do it. And, I never told him that by not doing it, you get 400. Yeah, you get XP for that. Like, I think it was like 400 or something. Right. Yeah, I didn't tell him what the reward was. Because I just wanted him to, like, keep his cool and everything. So, what he does is this is funny because our PCs were not beside each other, but we could see each other's PCs in the room.
Yeah.
I looked at his PC, and he actually unarmed his character, and he punched Nuber.
Oh, no.
You know what really was really funny about that time? Because my brother was 2 years older, he's a bit of a cheater sometimes. He uses a console and everything. So he got these tomes. He got these tomes that up your strength to like 25 over 18.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So he punched Nuber.
And killed him?
Yeah. Nuber died. So I was screaming. I was literally screaming. Like, no, why did you do that? Yeah. And then my brother, who's like the wizard, who's like in the other room, actually. Because me and my brother, who's like 2 years older, and my younger brother, we were in a separate room, but we were all connected with LAN and everything, like the routing system and stuff. So my brother, who's like, like the head honcho, lead honcho or something, the wizard, he walked up to my brother. He did not scream or anything. He didn't type anything in the chat. Nothing. He walked up to my brother and actually stabbed him. And I was like, see, that's what you get. I told you not to do it, not to do anything. Also, and then they're in the room, we were screaming and screaming. I was like, why did you have to do that? And then my brother Mike, he actually knocked on the wall, because the wall at the time was like not super thin, but it was like plywood. It was enough to separate the room.
Right, okay.
He was knocking on the wall, and he was like, why did you do that? And then we were screaming. Like, that moment was always been, like, the most memorable, embarrassing, but fail-like moment. There's actually another experience in that game, but yeah, I don't want to...
That's brilliant.
Yeah. we had a lot of embarrassing, funny moments with Baldur's Gate. It's just one of those games that honestly just take you on a ride. And the fact that we didn't have online LAN at the time, it gave that experience more depth. And sometimes I feel like that's what's missing with, like multiplayer games now. Like the actual couch experience.
Yeah.
It just
the online co-op takes away from the opportunities for the sort of like the local co-op. Where you just sat next to each other on the couch and you get to play those games. It's like me and my brother used to play International Track and Field on the original PS1. And as far as I know, to this day, he still cannot beat my 6.5 second 100-meter world record.
Wow!
Even Usain Bolt can't get that.
Oh my gosh!
I'm quicker than him in a video game. Which is all that matters.
Absolutely.
That is actually one of my favorite gaming moments. Is that me and my brother always had a bit of a rivalry as far as games were concerned, and whoever won would gloat a little bit. Whoever lost would really sort of throw a tantrum. Most of the time it was me because I was still a kid. So I was like, no, keep you calm. No.
Thanks.
That moment. But yeah, it was just sort of like one event on track and field. It was just that 100-meter sprint thing. He could beat me on all of the others, mainly because he had his friend with him. So while one of them would do the power buttons, the alternating buttons, like what I was talking about with the Decathlon games earlier. One of them would be doing the power buttons while the other one would press the placement button. So so if you're doing the hurdles for example, one of them would be doing the running buttons while the other one would press the jump button at the right time. But when it came to the standard 100-meter sprint, there was no need for any of that, which would mean that I would win.
Oh.
Because I had a way of holding the controller and pressing the buttons so that it would instantly go up to full power and stay there for the whole of the race. Wouldn't even have to dip my head at the line, which was great. I was proper chuffed about that because I think it was one of the first things I ever beat my brother at. But yeah, it is a shame that the local co-op's missing from a lot of these types of games now.
Yeah, it's I think the whole co-op experience online, while it does promote a bit of like the same type of fun that you would during a couch gaming session, I feel like it further implicates some form of being isolated, because you get so engrossed in the idea of co-op gaming for a while that you just forget what's going on around you, I guess.
Well, like, yeah, exactly. I mean,
I understand people who are like that. Like they're already engrossed with solo gaming, but then they get to co-op and it's like I don't know, Armageddon, but in a good way.
Yeah.
It's like I'm in a burning room. This is fine.
Yeah, no worries. No problem. What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, it's like I'm not saying that to insult people. It's just like you get so much fun in the experience that you forget all your worries,
Exactly.
And I get that because it just further brings you closer to the people that you care about and you get to spend more time with them,
Well, exactly, yeah.
But I feel like sometimes people are missing out on couch gaming.
Oh, so definitely.
It's just, yeah, it's one of those things. Like I really miss offline LAN for that purpose. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame. That's a shame. So, what? Any other favorite moments? Favorite gaming moments?
Okay, fine. I'll say mine and you say yours. So there was another moment when we were playing Baldur's Gate that my brothers wanted something like a heavier challenge in the game. So I was like, no, we're gonna die. I am your cleric. We are gonna die. You have to trust me on this. We are gonna die. And so they had a voting. So, you know, they were looking at the map and they see this place called Dorlag's Tower. It was part of the expansion Tales of the Sword Coast. And yeah, and I was like, no, you're not going there. I've seen you. And my younger brother, it's usually my younger brother, and my brother is like 2 years older, who, you know, they agree on these things. Come up with these things.
Yeah.
You know, they were planning to go to Durlag's Tower. I was like, no, I've seen you go there. I've seen you try. You're not going there just because we're a 4-person party. We are going to die. Okay? So,
exactly. Yes. Stay away.
Just stay away from that place. Just don't. I've seen you guys try it. Just don't. So my older brother, of course, you know, he is unaware of, you know, their shenanigans. And he's like, oh, okay, Durlag's Tower. Okay. And I just kept yelling like, no.
And you're thinking, no, don't do it.
Do it.
Don't do it.
And then my brother's like, okay, we're going to have a vote. Okay. Vote who goes to Durlag's. And he was waiting for my younger brother, and my brother is 2 years older. Of course they vote yes. So he's like,
yeah.
You don't want to vote? I'm like, no. He's like, okay, fine, majority wins then. I was like, no, what? So we go in there, and there are these things called battle horrors that are men in jet black plated armor, and they have a flaming sword.
Yeah, that sounds bad right from the start.
Yeah, and they have boots of speed, so we're fucked.
Is that a technical term?
Yeah. There's a path there, like, leading up to the tower, which is, like, a really narrow bridge. And once the battle horrors come out, you better run back in a straight line. Just don't scramble or anything. And it sucks because the battle horrors actually, like, they cast fear on you.
Oh.
So, yeah, which means you have no control over your character when that happens, and your character runs amok.
Yeah.
So, we were running up all the way back. And I was like, okay, you seriously want to do this? Seriously? And they were like, yeah, man, let's do it. It'll be fun. And so we go forward. And the battle horror that actually came out, he goes back. But then 3 come out this time. That's worrying. So we ran all the way back, and there's like this huge expanse of land before the tower. And, you know, like, it's cool. You're being chased by, like, these armored guys with flaming swords.
Yeah.
Then you lose control of your characters.
Oh, dear.
And then our computer started lagging.
Oh, no.
And my older brother was like, the wizard, he actually, we heard him from the other room. He was yelling, "Protect the wizard. What are you doing?" And I think he thought we were literally running around, like deliberately running around.
Right, okay.
And we started screaming in the room because we had no control anymore. And then once the computer started lagging, it was just crazy. Like, chaos. It was chaos. It was hell. And then my brother, he was trying to stay away, and then he cast Fireball.
Oh, no.
Which is like which is like a 20 radius something spell. And so he did that. And then we just watched in horror as the computer started lagging, and then the pixels coming around of the spell. And it was crazy. Like, we literally couldn't breathe because it was so funny and it was so bad at the same time. And it was... When it was over, my computer kind of froze, but then the sound was still playing. And then we were just like, it was like a mix of laughter and crying and just yelling everywhere. And then my brother was banging on the wall. He was like, "What are you doing? Why did you not protect me? What are you doing?" I'm like, "I cannot protect you. My computer is freezing." And it was just chaos after that. But we just, up to this day, every time we bring it up, and mind you, that was like, what, 2000, 2001?
Yeah.
To this day, whenever we bring it up, we cannot help but just laugh at our stupidity. Because it was just, it's one of those things that,
well,
I don't know, like, that's why I keep saying, like, I really miss, like, whenever my nephews are playing online with their friends, and I'm like, why aren't you playing with your friends? Like, literally there. Like, it doesn't even have to be video games. Like, everything just revolves around, tech at the moment. And it's
everything's online.
Yeah, it's, I don't know. Like, I kind of miss it.
Which is ironic since we're recording a podcast right now.
I know. Everything is online. So, but yeah, like at the time, we went out, we played with friends at the same time, we could game at home, but it wasn't as addicting as it is now.
Yeah.
Like it was moderate. And yeah, that's, I don't know, it's kind of bittersweet for me, so
yeah, I can see why.
Yeah.
Anyway,
what was yours though? I mean,
this is my favorite gaming moment of all time. I think I've mentioned this to you before, and that is my favorite game is Final Fantasy VIII, and it took and playing through it took me, as you'd expect with a Final Fantasy game, took me a lot of hours. Many,
yes, absolutely.
many hours.
Yes.
So yeah. It's my favorite because I've played a fair few games in my time, played them from start to finish, and if it's a big game that you really put a lot of effort into, and there's this tiny little unfulfilling ending that, considering you've played sort of like 25, 30 hours and the ending, say about 30 seconds, essentially saying, "Oh, well done, you've completed the game." That's quite unfulfilling, and it's like, well, why did I put all of this effort in the first place? Where's the payoff at the end of it? But Final Fantasy VIII is probably the only game that I have played or will ever play that gives you an ending that you truly deserve after all the effort that you put into it. Completing it for the first time was amazing.
Yeah.
It was just like a huge sigh of relief at taking down the final boss, and then watching the results of it all unfold. And I think the overall ending is over 10 minutes long.
Oh yeah, it was really long.
And
like it was like, it really felt like a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it was,
everything just fit together so well. That all of the cut scenes that made it up, the music that went along with it. It was a very, very satisfying ending to a game, to the point where you think, right, I've played this game, I've played it through, and I've been presented with this, and it ties up pretty much all of the loose ends. That's it, it's finished. And it's overall, it's just the Final Fantasy VIII for me is just the perfect gaming experience. There's a start, there's a middle, there's an end, and there's a very satisfying ending to it as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I have to agree with that.
Completing Final Fantasy VIII, that was and is my favourite gaming moment ever.
Oh man, that game. I have so many memories with that game, seriously.
Yeah, I'm about to, now that I've got all of the Final Fantasy games that are available on Steam, I am going to be recording all of them.
Oh, me too. Yeah. I mean, I don't have all of them on Steam because I can emulate the others, but it's one of my goals. It is to record every single FF game. We have to do it.
Oh, yeah.
It's just one of those things that you cannot pass or pass up.
Of course.
It has to happen. So.
I also want to, what I'd like for him to do next is bring out the first 2 Final Fantasy games. And then.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
And then everything will be as it should be. Oh, and 10.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
I forgot,
oh my god,
10. How did I forget 10?
You know what? They honestly should have released the HD remaster as a PC version. They really should have. They really missed out on an opportunity there.
Oh well.
Yeah. I could emulate it, so I don't have a problem with it, but I mean, it's on Steam. Everything is on Steam now, so might as well do it.
Yeah, true. I mean, that's the thing, though. I mean, I've still got the PS2 disc, so
yeah,
and
that's good.
And 12,
Me too.
And 12 as well. Forgot about 12.
12. Yeah.
But all I need to do is get myself a capture card. Once I do that, I can hook my PS3 up to the PC, and I'll be able to record it anyway.
Yes.
But it would just be it would be more convenient if everything was in one place. But...
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, come on, Square, release the rest of them. Do it. Do it now.
Oh man.
Or at least do it for when I get paid next. That'll do.
They really have to I don't know, they, like I was saying in the previous episode of the podcast, they really have to expand their horizons, so to speak, if they really want to, make up for the 10 million lost,
What 10 million lost?
Like, times are changing. They definitely have to catch up. And if they want to catch up, they have to, sell all they have on Steam, for example.
Yeah, true. Although they have been releasing a lot of their games on mobile as well. For a similar price too, which is quite surprising.
Well, that's good. That's good. Yeah. And that's okay. I mean, I'm not a big mobile game fan. I don't play mobile games often, if at all. So I can settle with that.
I do, but only on a very, very casual basis.
Okay.
I don't like the idea of action style games on mobile.
Yeah, me too.
Just because of the way the controls would be set up. You've got like a virtual control pad on the screen. It's like, well, okay, while your finger and thumb's on the screen, you now can't see anything else.
Yeah, so, exactly. And then they made those controllers where you can fit your phone on the top.
Yeah.
Like was it the NVIDIA Shield or something like that? I forget.
Yeah, the Shield does it, yeah.
Yeah. They're starting to come out with that, and I'm like, what's the point? Just like, what?
I know.
It's like, man.
But the problem is that, they've got this whole controller option these days. But not all of the mobile games are optimized for it, so they don't work properly. There's too much lag, and it's just I don't know. I need to sort out their mobile controls.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're steering away from retro here, and that's not good because this is a retro podcast.
Yeah, let's go all the way back.
Yeah.
What's our next topic?
Let's head back, and while this won't be entirely retro, it's definitely gaming related, and it's also movie related, because it's time for video game franchises that have been made into movies, and the big question about why the majority of them are so incredibly horrible. So let's pick out a random game that's been turned into a movie. I don't know. Let's start with something like Street Fighter. Yes, Mr. Van Damme, I'm looking at you.
Oh man, Van Damme and his splits.
he's got to do his splits. He's got to do his jumping spin kick, but you know, didn't once see him do a sonic boom.
I know. Oh my god, it's just none whatsoever.
Yeah, and
disappointing.
Disappointing. I think you're going a bit easy on that movie. How bad it is. It's more than disappointing. It's like an abomination.
Oh dear God! I don't even know, why did they even try. I mean, like, I get, I get that they were trying to sell the game, I guess, or the franchise, and they probably thought, well, people like movies, so let's try a movie, like the 80s and stuff.
I think it was back in the time before the gaming industry actually got bigger than the movie industry. But at the same time, it's like a cheap cash-in thing. It's like making a sequel to something that really doesn't need a sequel, but just to make that little bit of extra money for the company. Capcom had already gone stratospheric with Street Fighter 2 and its subsequent sequels. Therefore, why? They had Street Fighter, they had Street Fighter 2, they had Champion Edition, they had Super Street Fighter 2. They had it on all of the platforms. It was on the consoles at the time. It was on the Mega Drive. It was on the Super Nintendo. It was fantastic on the Super Nintendo. It was in the arcades.
Yeah,
they were constantly making money off of them. So why make firstly, why make a movie, and then why make a movie that you are going to completely miscast 99% of the characters?
Yeah, that's true.
If you're going to cast somebody as Guile, give him a blonde wig.
Make him blonde, yes. Make him blonde.
Give him a blonde wig. I don't know. Make him look like Johnny Bravo or something like that.
Yes, exactly.
But do not have an American, soldier, an American patriot, all about the USA, with a Belgian accent.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with Van Damme and his Belgian accent. Great at his karate and his martial arts, but he's very obviously not a born and bred American.
Yeah. To be fair, though, you know what? To be honest, the only character I probably liked that was, I don't know, at the time, as a kid back then, Cammy was always my favorite in Street Fighter.
I knew you were going to say Kylie Minogue.
Yeah. Well, I was like, I like Kylie, so I'm okay with that.
Everyone loves Kylie.
Now that, yeah, I mean, come on, it's Kylie Minogue.
She can do no wrong.
Yeah, she's fine with it, and besides, she played a minor role. It was okay, and the fact that she was a pop star just kind of justified that. But to be honest, that film made me think twice about Cammy. I was like, I didn't know Cammy had an Australian accent.
But she wasn't.
I look back and I'm like, oh no, she wasn't. What am I thinking? That was just funny to me.
But Kylie probably looked most like her and could get as close to a British accent as you could get.
Yeah.
No, my problems were the guys that they cast as Sagat
Ken and Ryu.
and
Sagat
and T-Hawk, because they're both supposed to be over 7 feet tall.
Yes, that's very true. Yeah.
I mean, I can talk about people who do not fit the appearance of the characters they're playing all day. All I need to say is Tom Cruise playing Jack Reacher.
Yes.
Tom Cruise, 5'8", 5'9". Jack Reacher, according to the author's description in the book, 6'5", between 220 and 250 pounds, with sandy blonde hair.
Jack Reacher, because Tom is short.
That doesn't sound like Tom Cruise to me.
Well,
I could have got Chris Hemsworth. He would have come close.
I know, yeah. They could have, yeah. Well, they get the big star. They think they get the big bucks after that.
Or in this case, they get a little star.
Yeah. Yeah. Well done.
He's so tiny and cute. You can't take him seriously.
He is so short.
Even in honestly, Mission Impossible.
There is no one else shorter than Tom Cruise.
Oh, there are.
Than Jet Li. I'm sorry. Or Mini-Me? I don't know, but why are we talking about height? I have no idea.
We're talking about people who have been miscast. So there.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise.
I know.
I saw the movie, though. I saw Jack Reacher. I saw the film.
So did I know.
So.
And having read a lot of the books, I wish I hadn't seen the movie.
Oh.
Because for me, it was terrible. it was awful. And it completely goes against the character. I don't know how the author Lee Child actually signed off on this movie, because almost everything that the character does in the movie is completely the opposite of what the character in the book would have done. He goes out of his way to avoid any kind of physical confrontation. Yet in the movie, he makes no effort at all to avoid physical confrontation. He's like, yeah, let's have a fight.
I don't mind. Take on me or something like that.
It's just, I don't know.
Expectations, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, you expect to see at least some kind of reference to the original material, but in this case, I didn't see it. But
speaking of no confrontation, that's like DJ, like you mentioned before.
DJ,
this.
A total non-combatant for somebody who's got such sick moves in the game. He did nothing.
Yeah, he was just like, we got to get the money.
Let's go. Nothing apart from want to collect the money and get out of there.
Yeah.
No combat. Nothing.
Yeah.
Worse than Dhalsim, who was just some.
Oh my God, he was just some
doctor,
some scientist. Yes.
And it was just, what's the point of him being there?
You know what really pissed me off about that, though?
Everything?
Ken and Ryu's. No, the one that really pissed me off about that film, Ken and Ryu's Hadouken.
Yeah, it was like it was tacked on.
It was like a camera flash, a very artificial camera flash, and I was like, "What the shit is that? Why? It's supposed to be a ball of energy. What happened? Where is it? Nope.
Yeah.
No budget, apparently.
No, they spent it all on Van Damme.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
Oh, no. There was everything about that film was just wrong.
But they did the poses at the end of the film, so.
Again, tacked on. It's like, what was the point of that? What was the point of that? Guys and gals, if you haven't if you haven't seen the live action movie of Street Fighter, don't do it. It will scar you for life.
Your expectations for video game turned movies will be bye-bye.
Yeah.
So
watch the animes. There's a Street Fighter.
The animes were really good, yeah.
There's a Street Fighter 2 the movie, an animated movie, which is fantastic. There's one based on Street Fighter Alpha, I think, as well, which is also really good. Really weird, but really good.
Mm-hmm.
That you should definitely check out. There are probably others that I haven't actually seen.
Yeah, there's probably some, that we don't know of. But as far as I'm concerned, I think, honestly, the animes are so much better than the movie. Really. I'd rather watch the animes than the movie again.
Oh, definitely. To be honest, I'd rather watch anime than movies in general. So.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, but because we don't want to seem too I don't want to seem too one-sided about this whole subject. So I'm going to leave it to you to pick out a movie based on a video game that isn't absolute dog turd.
Oh my god! At the time, or like up to now, what I think is
up to now,
the best one.
Any video game movie that you've seen that isn't terrible.
I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Like with the list of video game based movies that are out there, Silent Hill definitely topples all of them. It just It's I know you haven't seen it, like you said.
I was going to say I can't comment, so I haven't seen it. So,
yeah.
So.
No, it was. I'm actually really glad that the director played the games, just because some directors don't do that.
Yes.
They just completely, I don't know, make money off of a franchise that they don't know anything about.
Yeah, they take the name and do what they want with it.
Yeah. For Silent Hill, the director was actually the director of a French film that I really liked, which was an action film. The movie was called Brotherhood of the Wolf, and
I've heard of that.
And it was really good for its time. So when Silent Hill came out, I was just astounded that it was the same director, because what he did was the story of the movie of Silent Hill is completely different, but it has elements of the first game, second game, 3, and 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not so much of 4, but 2 and 1 are definitely there. Especially, like the father and daughter plot. Father looks for his daughter who's missing. In the movie, it's more of a mother and her daughter.
Okay.
And at first, it didn't make sense, but there was a quote in the film that absolutely just convinced me that this was better than the other video game movies. The girl who plays, I don't know her character, but her name is Laurie Holden, and she plays that woman in The Walking Dead. She was...
Oh, I know who you're talking about, yes.
Yeah, so she played Sybil in the film. And Sybil basically tells the main character, mother is God in the eyes of a child. And that was what sealed the deal for me. Because at first I thought, well, why did they make it about a mother and her daughter? It should have been, like the father and daughter plot that Silent Hill 1 was about.
Yeah.
If they really wanted to make it a Silent Hill film, they should have, gone with the plot of the first film.
Of course, yeah.
It was just cleverly done. And you have Alessa Gillespie, you have Dahlia in there, and it was just like, the film honestly made you feel like you were there.
Oh, that's good.
It was dumbed down a little bit, just because it's a movie, you know.
Yeah,
what experience
you've got to have that mainstream appeal.
Yes, exactly. And the experience that you have in the game, of course, cannot be compared to a film, because going through the game is obviously different than watching.
Yeah, things don't always translate that well to different mediums.
Yeah, but the way that they made Pyramid Head, oh my god, I cannot tell you how pleased I was. Like, I remember watching this in the cinema with a friend at the time. He treated me out to a film, and he was like, oh, you know, we should totally watch this. And I'm like, are you sure about that? Because I'm kind of scared about this. Like visually, like scared about it. And it was just like, I remember the entire cinema being so quiet when the sirens started blaring. Like, people had no idea what was going to happen. And then the walls started peeling. Oh my god, it was just... Brilliant. I can't tell you how good it was. You really have to watch it, but of course,
you've convinced me that I have to watch it now.
It's really, really good. Like, you compare it to others, and you're like, "Oh my god, okay."
To be honest, sorry, I was going to say. To be honest, I was half convinced that I needed to see the movie anyway because Sean Bean.
Yeah.
He's reason enough to watch anything.
Well, Sean Bean is in it, but I don't know. Like, this is probably one of those films that it kind of makes you question about his role in it. That's all I'm gonna say.
What, as in what he's doing there, what his character's doing there in the first place?
Yeah, and whether he lives or dies.
Right. Okay.
So you have to watch it.
Well, to be honest, I kind of know the answer to that because I know that there's a second film, and as far as I know, he's in that one.
Still questionable. I saw the second film. It wasn't as good as the first, to be honest.
Unless he only turns up in flashback.
But not really.
Okay.
No. He's there in, like, the present time and everything, but it's I still prefer the first Silent Hill film. So much better.
Fair enough. Well, I'll definitely need to make an effort to watch that. I'm just glad that when I asked you what one was pretty decent or not completely terrible, you didn't say Tekken.
Oh my god, can we not talk about Tekken?
Why?
My god.
Why? Because it's somehow worse than Street Fighter?
Oh, Jesus. Yes. It was so bad.
Well, just
see, I try to be neutral about these things, but Tekken was just such a disappointment. I don't even know why they decided to make it.
There's only one thing about that film that didn't make it better, but it made it sort of watchable, and it weren't the story. It was the fight choreography. That was pretty decent.
Oh yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah,
I mean,
the Eddie Gordo was obviously like the star of the show. I mean, come on, the actor who played him.
I don't know.
Would you go with Raven?
No, not at all. I would probably go with what's the who's the guy, the cyborg fella, that Jin fights.
Jack?
No, not Jack.
No, not Jack.
The one with the grey hair.
Oh shit, Brian
Fury, yeah.
Yes, Brian, yeah.
Yes, I like the actor Gary Daniels. I like a lot of his work. Not because of the not because of his acting ability. I mean, he's an alright actor. He's not terrible, but it's because he's actually a martial artist.
Yeah.
So he knows what he's doing. That was the good thing. A lot of the cast are or have done martial arts in the past. The fella that Jin fights in the cage, he's played by a guy called Kung Lee.
Yes, Kung Lee.
He's a mixed martial artist. There was one fella who's not actually in the Tekken games that I know of. He's a made-up character played by an ex-UFC fighter called Roger Huerta.
Oh,
Gary
yes.
Daniels does karate. The fella who plays Eddie Gordo obviously knows what he's doing as far as the capoeira is concerned. In fact, I think he's probably... I think he's been in other films doing that sort of thing. But yeah, we're getting away from the whole idea that the Tekken movie is awful.
My god,
it's very very awful. In fact, it's so awful that they made another one.
Oh my god, I haven't seen the other one, but
yeah. Please don't.
I won't, because I checked out the synopsis for it and I was just like, nope, I'm not gonna watch this shit. No.
Yeah. It's a synopsis.
Nope. Man. Oh yes. Oh, good one. Yes.
I'm nothing if not punny.
You're so punny. But yeah, no. I was disappointed with who they cast for Jin. He's okay. He looks okay, but once he starts opening his mouth, I'm like, no.
He doesn't fit the character. He's like 3.5 foot tall.
I know.
He's not. He hasn't got the physicality.
He has a teeny tiny voice. I do not like it.
No. I know he looks like he's like 13 years old.
Yeah, Jin is supposed to be brooding, strong but brooding. And he does not come off that way. No,
he's not so much brooding as sulking.
Yeah, just no, don't do it. I mean, well, I guess he decided to do it because it's Tekken. Come on, it's Tekken.
Well, yeah, true.
So,
yeah, I think the only other thing I've seen him in is one of the Universal Soldier sequels.
He was?
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, I can't remember which one it was. I think it was the 4th one.
Yeah, another thing I was really disappointed in with that film was how they depicted Nina and Anna. They were supposed to be rivals.
Yeah, they're also supposed to be kick-ass assassins.
Yeah, apparently they sleep around.
Yeah, they got portrayed as Kazuya's personal playthings.
I know. I'm like,
and that was just wrong.
What is this? What is this scene? And I remember just shaking my head. I can't believe I watched that in the cinema with my brother just to check out if it was a legit film this time. But I remember just shaking my head when that scene came on. I was like, no, this is not Nina. This is not Anna. This is not them. And I'm a Nina kind of girl. She's always been my weapon of choice in the games. So I was just like, oh no, this can't be happening. Just no. I don't want to see this anymore.
That's the thing. I mean, you look at the characters that are in the film, and they were, like I say, one of them's actually made up and isn't an actual character from the games. Yet they left out so many characters from the games.
I know, crazy.
I mean, you got the Korean fellas. You got Baek, and you got
Warang. Yeah.
There was no Paul Phoenix.
Oh my god! Right? Jeez.
I mean, he's only one of the main guys, and the Jacks, as they were, weren't the full blown built like a house robot things. Yes. They were these standard henchman soldier types, which are easily forgettable.
I know. Yeah.
It's like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I realise that when it comes to these fighting games, the characters are they're larger than life the way they're portrayed on the in the game itself.
Yeah.
So it'd be difficult to get somebody to fill some of these roles. Like
some of the I don't know. Like, there's a part of the whole Tekken vibe, I guess, that that just will never translate well on film.
Yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, I know they wouldn't be able to I know they wouldn't be able to sort of like transfer it frame to frame onto the big screen, but it's like they didn't transfer anything onto the
Yes,
big screen.
exactly. It's like they did not try. It's like they never tried.
Yeah,
But I mean, I guess the the one that, I mean, if there ever is a redeeming point, it's the fact that most of them are martial artists. But I feel like the film was just, I don't know, poorly planned, I guess. You know? And I'm like, since when did Christy ever end up with Jin? It just, what?
yeah, and also, since when was Christy American?
I know, right? Oh my god. So much to nitpick on this film. And I usually try not to, but I can't help it with this because, I mean, I grew up with Tekken, so...
Well, this is the thing. It's easy to nitpick on these films because there are so many problems with them.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's not just nitpicking things that not everybody would notice in the first place. These are glaringly obvious.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And the fact that I would be embarrassed to actually cast Kari Tagawa as Heihachi Mishima, because he's a big actor, you know, in the whole martial arts world.
He's a great actor.
Yeah, he's great. I would never cast him as Heihachi for something as low budget as this.
Yeah, Bad News, they did the same thing for the sequel.
Oh my god. Jesus. One more reason not to watch it then.
And he looked even less like Heihachi in that than he did in the first one.
Jesus Christ.
Bad. It's just bad. Thing is, if they're going to make a Tekken movie, they need to find, they need to find a boxing kangaroo and a boxing lizard. It's that simple.
Yes, absolutely. And a bear and a panda.
Yep. and a walking, talking tree.
A walking, talking tree. Oh, I don't think they'll ever get video game movies right. Honestly, I just think they never will.
Unless they're animated.
Except Silent Hill, sorry.
Okay, Silent Hill.
Yeah.
Or if they make them sort of like animated.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, for all of the live action Resident Evil movies, there have been a couple of animated movie versions. Same with Street Fighter. There's been one, possibly two of Tekken. I think there's been one for Dead or Alive.
Which was okay. I enjoyed it just because it was just for fun. I didn't really have to, I don't know. I didn't have to be so critical about it like Tekken. I mean, I've played the Dead or Alive games except for the latest ones, but it wasn't as serious as it honestly felt like it was just made for fun's sake. That was it. And it was really obvious.
Dead or Alive looked like it was made specifically for an audience of teenage boys.
Oh my god, the games are much worse with that mission.
Oh, don't get me started. I know they've actually got boob physics.
And it's an option. So
it's an option.
Yes.
I know. Sadly, I know.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know about you, but I think because there are so many of these movie game tie-ins, I reckon we could save some of them for another episode.
Yes, we could.
So we could. I reckon we should stop right there before we.
We're gonna end up doing a 3-hour rant.
Yeah, this could be a 3-hour rant just on movie game tie-ins.
Yeah.
it could become really bad. So yeah, let's stop this now. And I'm gonna climb down off of my soapbox.
Me too.
And no more of that. No more of that. But yeah, so that's those were our opinions on video game movies. For what they're worth. you probably agree with all of us. Well, maybe you don't, but well, if you don't agree with us, feel free to make comments.
Yes,
we appreciate comments. And I think that pretty much concludes this episode. What do you think? Have you got anything more to say on the subject of gaming, retro or otherwise, and how terrible movies are in general when they're made in video games?
Number 1, bring back Offline LAN. Number 2, go watch Silent Hill.
Yes, I'm going to do that.
Number 3, I don't know. Take care of yourselves.
Cool. That sounds good.
Yes.
So we'll finish this episode of Retro Revisits right now. Hope you've enjoyed listening.
Mm-hmm.
If you like what you hear, feel free to hit the like button. If you love the idea of listening to crazy people such as myself and Sis talk about retro type stuff,
Indeed.
Feel free to subscribe. And again, if you have any comments, make them known in the section below. And until next time, goodbye for now.
Bye-bye.